Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about music theory for beginners. As producers, we need to be familiar with music theory. This is the language in which all music is written. Push that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber yet. I post videos where I help beginner producers improve their music. I do all the video editing and the research by myself, so these videos actually take quite some time. Your subscriptions are definitely keeping me motivated. What is a major key and what is a minor key? This is what we're going to explain today in a simplified way. First of all, why do we use a piano? You see it in all the AWs, even if that is not the instrument you are playing. The piano layout has the best representation of musical notes. This is 440 Hz, also named as middle A. What is a tone? A tone is a frequency. We assign letters to the frequencies because this just makes it easier when writing music. We assign letters only to the white keys, and I'm sure you notice there are white keys and black keys in any piano roll. These keys have their specific place on the keyboard. The first white note to the left of any group of two black notes will always be assigned to C. The first white note to the left of any group of three black notes will always be assigned to F. This means that I only have 7 letters from the alphabet assigned to specific tones. We only use these 7 notes because the frequencies actually double after them. We call that an octave, which means that the first A and the second A are 1 octave away. Now let's go back to those black keys, and these keys don't actually have their own letters. They are named by their relationship with the white keys, and they can be sharps and flats. It's the same note, just different names. I'll show you what I mean. If I go up 1/2 step, this is noted as C sharp. If I go down 1/2 step, this is noted as D flat. So when I go up, I have sharps. When I go down, I have flats. It's the same note, just different names. You might have noticed that I used the term half step. That is actually the smallest interval in music. If we go from one tone to the closest one possible, that is a half step. These are all half steps. This is how we measure the distance between two notes, and they don't have to be consecutive notes on the keyboard. They can be any notes. For example, from C to E, let's count the half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 half steps. 2 half steps equal 1 whole step. So I can say that the distance between C and E is 2 whole steps or 4 half steps. Let's try to name all the keys that I have going from C to my next C. So let's do the whole octave. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C, B, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C. Next, we need to talk about scales, and this is a very important aspect in music theory, as scales are used to write melodies. A scale is a pattern of 8 notes within the same octave. The scale starts on one note and ends on the same note, just 1 octave higher. These 8 notes also have names in their relationship to the first note. This is called degrees. First degree, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8. These degrees also have different names, but we'll not get into more details in this lessons. You just need to remember that the first degree is also called a tonic. And the most important degrees, the most commonly used ones that you need to remember are first degree, third degree, and the fifth degree. You remember that I said a scale is a pattern of 8 notes. Well, if I count all the notes I have within an octave, I have 12. In a scale, I can pick any of these 12 notes. And depending on the intervals between these notes, I can have major and minor scales. Every major scale uses the same intervals. C major is a really popular one because it uses all the white notes and is the easiest to write in. Let's see the pattern by counting the steps between the notes. Whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So we said that this pattern will apply to every major scale. Let's try to apply this pattern to, let's say, D major scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So I start in D, I end up in D, 1 octave higher. Every minor scale uses the same pattern, and the most popular minor scale is A minor. It uses all the white notes, but if we count the steps, we discover that they have a different pattern than major scales. So let's create the A minor scale and let's count the intervals. Whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. The easiest way to memorize this interval is by looking at them. Basically, you move the last 2 steps from the back of the major key in front in minor keys. Next, I'll show you a trick that you can use to write melodies faster. All major scales utilize the same pattern, which means that I can move my tonic, which is the first note in the scale, to any other note, and that will give me the major key that corresponds to the tonic. I can use this trick with minor scales as well. Let's move on to keys, major and minor keys. A key is basically when you assign a scale to a song. Most of the notes in that song will fall on that scale. This makes it way easier to read and write music because you don't have to think all the time how many sharps and flats you have. So remember the trick I showed you earlier about writing melodies? We'll take that even further and see how we can write melodies even faster. So now I have the C major scale pattern locked to my piano roll. This is what you can do to write melodies faster. Select all this pattern and move it outside of the grid, and then you fold it. This will basically give you only the keys that will be in the same scale. So no matter what MIDI I would write here, everything would be in the same scale. Sounds horrible, but you guys get the idea. While we are here, we need to talk about the circle of the fifths. This is a quick way to remember how many sharps or flats are included in each key. Starting with C, every perfect fifth you've moved up adds 1 sharp. So a fifth from C, we have G, in the key of G, I add 1 sharp. Let's see if that is correct. G major, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. This works for flats too, but the other way around. So every perfect fifth you move down from C, you add 1 flat. Let's move down a fifth from C. I have F. Let's see the F major scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That's correct. And I do have a flat. The same applies to major and minor keys. If you assign a key to a song, it doesn't mean that the whole song has to be in the same key. When you change the key in the middle of a song, this is called modulation. The most common form of modulation is by moving up half a step. For example, from E major, I move to F major. Half a step. I can also move a fifth and a fourth. From E major, I move to A major or to B major. Thank you for watching the videos. Remember, if you like this kind of videos, drop me a comment in the comment section below so I know what you guys want to see more in the next videos. Thank you. Have a great day.